Peace to the family. What's going on? What I want to talk about today is one of the most powerful things in the world that we kind of look past. We don't really engage in it enough, and that is our self-talk. Your self-talk is more powerful than how much influence you have. Your self-talk is more powerful than how much money you have. Your self-talk is more powerful than anything in the world. Because the one thing about the world is when you step out into the world, what the world is designed to do is take you off your square or take you off your foundation. Buy this car, buy this house, buy this thing at the store, billboards. Everyone is talking to you. The supervisor at work, the manager at work, your mate, your kids, family. Everyone is talking to you. Everyone is trying to tell you what to do and tell you how to do it. But just like the Bible, and even though we're in their cult or we're spiritual, we're not too far from the Bible, because the Bible is just a collection of stories, right? It's just a collection of ancient knowledge. So just like in the Bible, in John 1:1, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So being that we live in this matrix that's mainly influenced by light, meaning what we visualize or what we see that it is, and this is confirmed through quantum physics, through the what was the experiment, the double slit experiment, where it shows that until we focus on something, it is a wave. So until I focus on my cell phone that I'm holding, it's a wave and not a solid particle, or it's not matter until I look at it, and then it becomes matter. So this is a light show and this is a sound show, meaning that our utterances, or the words that we say from our mouth, are very important. But more important is the word that you say here in your head, what you're programming yourself with, what ideas that you're capturing, and the way that you control this, the way that you control the way you think when your mouth is closed, when your lips aren't moving, is by what you take in. What type of information are you taking in on a day-to-day basis? What things are you reading? What things are you paying attention to on social media? What things are you watching on TV? That is the food for thought. That is the knowledge that you get to power your thoughts. Now you have to do the wisdom to those thoughts. Because knowledge without wisdom is knowing about sex, but not actually engaging in the act of sex. I could tell you all the beautiful things about sex, how good it feels, write wonderful poetry, great paint, great art, right? Show you all the pornos in the world. But until you actually have sex, which is the act of doing the wisdom, which is now you're wise because you've experienced sex. So now you have an understanding of what sex is. So the whole purpose of getting this knowledge is not just to get knowledge for the sake of having knowledge and regurgitating this knowledge. It's for you to work through this knowledge. And once you're working through this knowledge in your mind, in the silence, in the darkness of yourself, now what you're doing is you're creating not only you're creating new thoughts, but you're creating new synapses. You're creating new neurons. You're creating new neural connections. And you're creating a new you. So now in places where you were scared, or things which you were nervous about, or things that you were unsure about, or things that you think you couldn't do, now you have installed the hardware in your brain. You installed the hardware in your brain due to the software of information that you yourself have chosen to download and work through, to now have a working understanding and a foundation now to stand on, based on this knowledge, based on this information. But you have to take it upon yourself to actively program and edit your thoughts. And this is done within silence. This is done within meditation. This is done in ritual. This is done in sleep when you are traveling the astral plane, okay? I always tell you guys, you could program yourself 15 minutes before bed and 15 minutes in the morning. 15 minutes in the morning to program your day, 15 minutes before bed to program your trip through the underworld that we call dreams, okay? So your thoughts are more powerful than riches. Your thoughts are more powerful than influence. Your thoughts are even more powerful than external power out here. Having power, being a president, being a prime minister, being a king or a queen. Because if you don't first and foremost think that you're a king or a queen, or a god or a goddess, or a divine being, then nothing else matters. Because the whole world is chirping at you on a day-to-day basis. The whole world got words for you. The whole world is trying to collapse your wave of potential into particles of matter in your mind. When you walk the streets and you look at a Newport ad and it says alive with pleasure, that's a program designed to install hardware in your brain, in your neural pathway, to form new neurons and new synaptic connections. So that next time you see a Newport in the store, subconsciously you react. So if the Matrix is doing this to us, if the media is doing this to us, then why aren't we doing this to ourselves? We have a neuroplastic mind. We deal with neuroplasticity. We deal with epigenetics as well. Neuroplasticity is just the science of your brain changing shape as you gain and acquire new information. And again, due to wisdom to that new information, meaning working through that information, making sure it makes sense to you, not just gathering information. And that changes, that forms neuroplasticity. Also, the environment that you put yourself in, okay, or that you're in. Do you have things that remind you of your divinity? Does your screensaver on your computer, the screensaver on your phone, the screensaver on your tablet? Do you have juju in your home? Okay? Deities, an altar, posters, art, things that inspire you, things that keep you in the spirit, things that keep you motivated. Because once you step out of your home, once you step into the world again, the whole world is trying to take advantage of not your body, not your car, not your home, your mind, your thoughts. So if that's the case, then your thoughts are more important than anything else, than any tangible thing in the world. In fact, one of the highest deities on the Kemetic tree of life is thought, or Tahuti, or Hermes, right? So that is one of the most powerful forces out there, wisdom, which is what Tahuti represented, wisdom. So your thoughts are how you extract your wisdom. So you have to look at yourself and ask yourself, what are you thinking on a day-to-day basis? What do you think about yourself? What do you say to yourself? Do you say to yourself, I can't do things? Do you say to yourself, I'm not able to do things? Do you say to yourself, that won't work? And not only that, but how are you talking to other people? When other people come to you with their dreams and their ideas and their visions, are you the person that tells them that they can't do it? Are you the person that tells them that it's not possible? Are you the person that puts doubt in their heart and doubt into their ideas? These are the things that you have to ask yourself. Because if you're hating on other people, I don't care if that person wants to be a janitor. You're supposed to support them. If they're really your friends, if they're really your people, if you call them your soul tribe, you're supposed to support them. I don't care if you don't believe in the relationship, right? You're still supposed to support them. You can express your disapproval, but if this is really your friend, you're still supposed to support them. So a lot of people hate, right? And if you are hating or you're a hater, you're not going to take advantage of this powerful tool called thought, these powerful ideas, this powerful wisdom, because you're so busy focusing on someone else or what someone else is doing or someone else's failures that you have yet to look in the mirror and analyze your own. And usually miserable people hate on people the most. And this is because the ideas that they have about themselves are not ideas of wellness, are not ideas of health, are not ideas of joy, and are not ideas of abundance. And if you don't program yourself, the world will program for you. The world will program you for you. So let's take advantage of the fact that we have the freedom. We have YouTube, we have Udemy, we have all these different, even Harvard is doing classes. We have all these different resources, courses out the ass out here, all these different resources that you could use from the comfort of your own home to develop yourself, to develop your mind, and develop your thoughts. It's similar to this. The best way to look at it is like this. When an artist and a construction worker walk into a room, right? Walk into a furnished room, or a furnished home, they're both looking at two different things based on the level of knowledge that they have, right? The construction worker is looking at the home and looking at the way it's built, looking at the foundation, maybe looking at the walls, looking at the roof, looking at the square footage, where the artist is looking at how the bed is placed, is looking at where the pictures are, is looking at where the mirror is looking at the aesthetics, right? So now imagine, right, if this construction worker is also into art, or vice versa. This artist is now in construction. So now they're getting to perspective. They're getting a much more holistic perspective than someone who is just claims to be an artist, or someone who just claims to be a construction worker. So this is why it's very important to label yourselves as a god or a goddess. This is why it's very important to transition from becoming a human, transition from just simply becoming a man, a black woman, a white man, a white woman, a Spanish woman, a Spanish man, etc., and transform into becoming a god. Because when you become a god, you are saying to the universe, when you say you are a god, you are saying to the universe that you are open to all possibilities and open to all levels of expansion, no matter where they come from. Because God is all and all is God, right? Another word for God is Allah, right? All. So if one of the words for God is all, we know another word for God is Jehovah, right? Yad, Vad-He, Yad-He, which is really just the four elements: fire, air, earth, and water, right? Which is basically what the earth and what the universe is comprised of. Okay, so tapping into your God self is tapping into your your universal power, your cosmic power, the greatness that you really are. But you have to control the way you think. You have to control your thoughts. You have to control the sentences you say to yourself. You have to control the way you affirm yourself. Very, very important. Because a lot of times, that's right, a lot of times we think that outside forces, outside things, outside teachers, outside friends, outside family, outside colleagues have the answers. Books have the answers. No, you have all the answers. The information is just knowledge, but you have all the answers when you do the wisdom to it, and then you gain an understanding. And once you gain this understanding, now you're able to speak with force. Now you're able to speak with confidence. Now you're able to live a life according to your own truth. And this not only deals with your brain's neuroplasticity, but this also deals with your spiritual elevation and your spiritual power and your ability to overcome and withstand obstacles. Sometimes all you need to hear is yourself tell yourself that you can make it on a repetitive basis. And it'll put you in the right frame of mind to get over and get through what you need to get through. Sometimes you need to tell yourself great things happen to you and are happening to me, and feel that in the midst of the worst chaos, in order to see that possibility. And then lo and behold, the universe provides something for you that confirms your own thoughts and ideas. Okay? So let's work on, it's great to burn candles. It's great to have herbs. It's great to sacrifice goats and chickens. It's great to pray and have a Bible or a Quran or a holy book, or listen to Bobby, or listen to Panic, and all these things. But if you're not taking these things, this knowledge and this wisdom in, and doing the wisdom to it, working through it, really utilizing it, really seeing how it applies to your life, seeing what applies and what doesn't. Because whatever teacher you listen to, there's some things that apply to you personally, and there's some things that don't apply to you personally. And that's every teacher. No teacher is going to tell you everything 100% that's going to apply to you and is going to really be for you. You have to be able to pick out what works and what doesn't work. And that is being wise. That is utilizing the knowledge that you take in and thinking about it, really thinking about it, not just taking the knowledge and saying, oh, okay, this is what like for instance, well, whatever stupid things people just think of, right? Okay, well, Kamala Harris is there and Joe Biden is there, so, well, I guess I gotta vote, because if I don't vote for them, Trump is gonna win, and if Trump wins, then the world's gonna go to shit. My life's gonna go to shit. Instead of really thinking about who's behind the presidents, what really runs the presidential election, what really runs the lobby, what really runs society as a whole, and realizing, once you figure that out, right, realizing what solutions you need to take in your own life to make things happen for yourself and not depend on others. But that's a level of godhood that you have to develop over time by acquiring knowledge and doing the wisdom to it, so you could forge your own path and not rely on anyone else but yourself. And if you want to align with a soul family, of course we should all align with soul families. We should all have people around us that see our visions, that are there to help us, that motivate us, that inspire us. But we shouldn't depend on them in order for us to get to the level that we need to get to. We need to do the work. And the start of doing the work is to change your thought process. A lot of us just want this magic for money, for love, for this and for that. But our thought processes are so jacked up. We talk so negatively about ourselves and others. We're quick to down somebody, even if they put in, I saw the whole thing with the Nick Cannon, and we were quick to down Nick Cannon, even though Nick Cannon, now, I don't like what Nick Cannon did either personally, right? But I'm also aware that I am watching him on TV go through his faults and struggles. He is a public personality, so his public image I have access to that, right? But everybody doesn't have access to your public image. So who knows what you would have done in these situations? Who knows if you would have really folded or not folded? It's very easy behind the screen to say you wouldn't fold. Very easy, right? But when you have payroll, when you have people that's depending on you, you got to kind of look at things from both angles. And again, I'm not saying what he did was right, you know what I'm saying, with the Jewish dude or whatever. That's for you to decipher for yourself. But what I am saying is Nick put a lot of people on. He did a lot of good things for black people. He put a lot of black creatives on, put a lot of people from social media on. Black people. So I'm not just going to throw him out because he made one mistake. But a lot of y'all are quick to jump on somebody as soon as you see them slipping. That's a problem. That's negative energy. That's not wanting to see someone shine. That's not wanting to see someone live. That is the devil. Again, like I always tell y'all, devil is the opposite of lived. Devil backwards is the opposite of lived. When things are living, they are growing and developing and shining. Right? Things that are growing, developing, and shining. When we see somebody doing well and they're in love, what would we say? We say they got the glow. Oh, you must be in love. You got a glow about you. Or you must have had a good vacation. You got a glow about you. Or you must be really at peace. You got a glow about you, right? People don't want to see you get that when people come home from jail, right? They say that nigga got the glow, right? He got that glow because you've been out up in the mountains eating healthy and sleeping well and don't have the stress of maintaining rent and things like that we do here in the free world. So I don't want to make this too long. I just want to talk about the importance of really, really getting serious about what we talk about as far as this magic thing. Really getting serious about how we are seeing people, How vindictive are you? How petty are you? You know what I'm saying? Do you tell yourself that you're petty? These are things people tell themselves, that they're petty. And when you tell the universe that you're petty, then guess what? Petty things start to happen for you to react to it. Petty things start to come into your life to engage that energy. Because we are magnetic. You're an electromagnetic being. So again, thought. Thought is a deity. Thoth. Thought is a deity. Okay? Tahuti, deity. Okay? Deity. Hermes Trismegistus. That's thought. That's Tahuti. Okay? Deity. So deify yourself via the thoughts that you're thinking. Don't think that that's something minor. Don't think having the altar is more major than that. Don't think having some herbs or some crystals is more major than that. Don't think because you do ritual all the time, or you see people that do ritual all the time, that your thoughts are more or not more major than that. Your thoughts are more major than that. Your thoughts are more critical than that. Your thinking is the most important thing on the planet for you. Because from your thoughts, from your thinking will come new creation. From your thinking will come new ideas. From your thinking will come the influence of children. What you tell your children. What your children see you tell yourself. What you tell your family members, right? People watch you, so you're influencing others. You're influencing others by the way you speak about yourself, by the way you speak about others. So you're influencing the world. That's how you spread your light. Sound and light, right? By the way you act and the way you speak. So word is bond all the time. But not just the words that you speak out your mouth, the words that you say in your head as well, when no one else is here to see you speak. Those are the most important words, to be honest. Because people can say anything out of their mouth. But what are the words that you're saying to yourself here? What are the words that you say to yourself here on a day-to-day basis when shit hits the fan, when shit doesn't hit the fan, when things are good, when things are bad? What do you say to yourself? How do you communicate to yourself? Very, very important. So as we are in this current Pisces season, as I'm recording this, the full moon is in Pisces. We are in Virgo the Virgin. We know Mary wasn't born from a virgin birth for real. That's just a metaphor to show that she was pure of heart. And part of being pure of heart is really being honest about what you say to yourself, what ideas you have about yourself, what ideas you have about those closest to you, and what you say to them out of your mouth. So what you say to yourself within, in your subconscious, in the darkness of yourself, where your ancestors lie, and what you say to yourself, or what you say to the world about yourself and about others, where the netters are, or nature is, where your influence is, where your treasures are, where your physical treasures are. What do you say to yourself? Are you comfortable with poverty? Are you comfortable with not having anything? Do you tell yourself that it's okay? Do you tell yourself that you're fat in the mirror? Do you tell yourself that you're ugly in the mirror? Do you tell yourself that you're average in the mirror? Because what you say to yourself and what you think about yourself is how people will respond to you. I've seen people that, quote unquote, I didn't think were attractive, but because they spoke about themselves like they were attractive, because they spoke about themselves like they were the greatest thing on earth, that's what happened to them. So sometimes we're so spiritual that we don't engage and we don't know how to utilize our ego. And a lot of times we're spiritual, but we're stuck in the house like hermits. We don't know how to engage with people because we feel like people don't think the way we think, so we can't engage with them. That's totally false. You can engage with anyone. You can engage with anyone walking this path. People that are quote unquote sleep, because you was at one before you became woke, right? You were at one time sleep too. You were at one time sleeping too. Never forget that. So you can engage with anyone. You're not above anyone because you have this knowledge. You're not greater than anyone because you have this knowledge. You're not greater than anyone because you're walking the spiritual path. You just have a little bit more sense, a little bit more wisdom, and a little bit more enlightenment, right? And you are striving to not come back on this planet reincarnated again. That's the only difference. But you are part of this world. You have to play in this world, and you have to be grounded in this world. And you have to have ideas that complement physical success, not just spiritual success. Both should be accomplished. You should not only be spiritually fly. You should not only be spiritually fly, but you should be physically fly as well. You should want and work for the best for yourself. But this all starts with the way you think. That is really the first step on this magical path. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So what's your words? What's your words of the day, God? And God is peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstone. Like, share, subscribe.